making judgment on how this is going to end. So we've got some FPS issues in Expert here to begin with, but there we go, they fixed themselves immediately. They've learned from yesterday that they don't want to piss me off. Alright, so I told you guys we have some interesting names. As we have Miniraser versus Blysk to start stuff down to the bottom left hand corner of the map, going by the name Suk Min Cook, and I'll leave that up to your own interpretation. It is the blue Zerg player from Imaginary Gaming, Miniraser. Wardy, you and I have similar hairdos, RN. What is a hairdo? Or you mean like hairdo? I'm not gonna lie, I don't really understand. If we have similar hairdos, then that's awesome. I think my hairdo's pretty cool, so your hairdo must be pretty cool as well. In the top right hand corner of the map here, our green Protoss player, who will be representing mYinsanity. It's Blysk. No, it is not Kirikaki. This is something I'm going to have to work on for the next season of the Team League, because so many players play on these accounts where we just don't know their actual names. So I'm going to have to work on some kind of overlay to fix this, basically. It's slightly annoying, but what can you say? So, we're going into the game, and just going to wait to see for stuff to start happening. I mean, we've got a hatch first down here for Miniraser, followed up with a gasp before his pool here as well, so going to be getting that out nice and quickly, as this probe has been across the map to scout. He sees all of this, and this drone has been across the map to scout as well, and sees that this is a gateway expand coming out from Blysk early in this game. This is not Kirikaki playing. Again, this is Blysk taking part here. So, again, you guys need not worry. Kirikaki is not playing for root. Well, he might be playing for root, I don't have a clue. But this isn't the Kirikaki, so this is Blysk. Again, the names always cause confusion, right? Like, it's kind of stuck. Like, I really need to find a way around this for next season. I might make an overlay anyways, in such a way that we have some extra cool little things on it, so that you guys can see stats of teams and stuff like that during the game. I don't know. It's going to be a lot of work put into Season 5, as we have a lot more time to work on the Team League to make it... how do I say it? I think the way I've been phrasing it when I've been planning things so already has been that the goal is to create an immersive experience for the SC2 Improved Team League. So, that is the goal, to create an immersive experience where you can keep track of all of your favourite teams, see who's won, keep up to date with all of the VODs very easily, watch all of the matches when you want to watch them, that sort of thing. Really take it to the next level of creating a storyline, really. I mean, you know, we see storylines develop all the time in the Team League, and between seasons as well we see teams like who've been champions before and having old rivalries in the Team League. Like this season, MIA took down Cascade for the first time ever in Team League history when they took them down this season after losing to them 2 seasons previously. So we see these storylines, but it's so hard to follow them, and that is the new goal for the Team League, to really make those visible both into season and during season. Go mYinsanity says Crowtail in the chat. Of course, Crowtail, one of our awesome sponsors here of the SC2 Improved Team League Season 4. And he helps to make this league as awesome as it is. As moving around the back of the mineral line here, this single Zergling, just checking out, seeing what's going on and seeing what is happening. It will be taken down here, and honestly there's not too much to see. Stargate will now come down here for Blysk. He has added on just 2 gateways at his front door to help him wall off. But apart from that, not really too much going on anywhere on the map. I mean, a 3rd base on the way up now for Miniraser, and yeah, just waiting for overlords to come in, and you know, waiting for players to really start getting going with their tech here in this game. Again, that Stargate is down for Blysk, so that's the real kind of focus we're going to be, well, that's the real thing we're going to be focusing on here for the first few moments of this game. Seeing whether it's going to be an Oracle, whether it's just going to be Phoenix play out of him to begin with, and see what he wants to transition into from there. Forge already on the way down, so looking to head in towards his upgrades, and probably will eventually just head in towards the very classic 3rd base with the blink with the +2. One way that you can do this is of course going for that Oracle, and that is what we see popping up in the production tab. And this Oracle pretty much means you can drop your third base as soon as the Oracle's out, because the only thing that's really going to be around to take it down is going to be Zerglings. And with the Nexus down, a couple of Pylons, a classic cannon wall off, and an Oracle to deal with early Zerglings, you should be pretty much okay to keep that alive. And if any early Roaches do come across the map to try and deny your third, you have that Stargate up and ready to make a Void Ray as well. In fact, he's already got that Void Ray queued up. So a very standard way of playing right now from the Stargate play from Blysk. You know, no real surprises. He's just getting the units we'd expect to see, dropping his third base at a time we'd expect, and there's just a handful of Zerglings coming across the map here for Miniraser, who might try and pick off a probe here. And in fact, he will, and he will get that probe kill, and the Mothership Core will turn the rest of these Zerglings away. Overlord in towards the main base here is just going to be short of seeing that Stargate. Whether he saw that Oracle on the way out, I'm not too sure. It doesn't really matter because now he sees it on the on his third base. But he's actually starting to lose a few workers. He's not invested in Spore Cores here. He's got 2 Queens in position. He loses 6 drones. Not the end of the world. I mean, you can remake those drones very, very quickly anyways. And he's actually already had 15 in production just there a moment ago. As Zergling's going to try and chase down another probe here, but will get turned away by the small force of sentries at the front door of Blysk. He is needs to be very careful here. He's in a very open position should there be more Zerglings out on the map. And he needs to be very, very careful not to get caught off guard with that as his cannon and his wall comes up over towards the third. You see that Trident Council coming in at such a time, so +2 will start on time, and the blink, and it's pretty much all as we would expect. This Overlord 40 is going to get lucky, but unfortunately the Void Ray will turn back around and pick him off. And Miniraser just starts up a 4th base and gets ready to go into the mid/late game now against his Protoss opponent here. Alright, so this Oracle just going to sit tight. We actually have Burrow coming in from Miniraser, which is a pretty interesting choice of upgrade here, as he also goes for the classic double infestation pit build. This is so useful when you want to go into pathogen glands and flying locusts at exactly the same time, because on 4 bases you can literally afford anything as a Zerg player. You can afford, you know, why stop at just infestors and Stormhosts? Why not just go for the Hive and Vipers as well? Get everything, go for ultras at the same time. No, okay, this is a bit of a mistake here by Miniraser, putting them down to infestation pits, and he might realise here in a moment, if he looks at his main base in a moment or two. No, he's not going to. So double infestation pit finishes up, he now starts his Hive, and there's a Templar Archives on the way here from Blysk, which means he's going to be playing a fairly interesting style of play, which is going to revolve around charge lots, and most likely some Archons and Storm here early on. And it's a style of play we saw, I think it was State who did it way back in a base trade TV tournament against Nurture in the finals. He was doing it way back then, and yeah, he was doing that back then, and it's kind of become this style of play which is a little bit different but can definitely work out. I can't remember who's done it, who I saw doing it most recently, but I've seen it pretty recently as well. I can't remember who against though, if I'm going to be completely honest. I really can't remember who against. Anyways, he does have charge finishing up here instead of Blink. He has that +2 on the way as you would expect. He's got a couple of Archons mixed into this army right now. No Observer though, because I assume he doesn't have a rover facility. So no Observer to clean up this creep, and so that Oracle, wherever it may be, I think he might have just lost the Oracle actually. He got very low on hit points before, and he has lost that. So that's a little bit unfortunate. The Oracle to help clean creep here would have been brilliant, as we've got a couple of Pylons in this high ground, and Blysk is moving forwards with this. He's only on 7 gateways. He's got 3 more on the way and a rover facility behind this. Starts up another Oracle, and perhaps realizing the importance here of getting that creep cleared out. Third Archon going to join this army, and the initial movement here from the Roaches of Miniraser seems to be more than enough to just fend his opponent away. He's going to come from the high, sit on the high ground here, and that's a high ground which Blysk just cannot attack into. He will move towards the 4th base, and that's something Miniraser is not moving towards just yet. And this is a very narrow alleyway, and that's going to be very easily force fielded off here. Miniraser already giving this up here. There's a couple of Voiders in the sky. That's the main problem for him. He hasn't really got anything to do with this at all, and he's actually going to maybe send his Roaches off on a counterattack. He has got some Hydralisks on the way in here. As he loses his 4th base, Blysk is going to try and escape, but again without Hives. I mean, he's got a couple of Queens, but he needs something to be able to deal with these Void Rays. There's no +2 on these Zealots just yet though, so I think an engagement would probably go fairly well for Miniraser if he notices this. I mean, the Zealots are, you know, definitely kiteable by the Roaches up to a certain extent. I mean, yes, they do have charge, but if you're on creep, you can still kite away. I'm actually surprised Miniraser didn't attempt to save his 4th base here. It's kind of a tough position, I suppose, because you're going to be coming in from a choke point, so it's kind of maybe 50-50 as to whether you should, but he could have at least come in from this angle to stop the escape from his opponent. And then if his opponent kind of came along this way, then he could get into position over here, and it'd be the Protoss player walking through the choke point. Pylon going to get taken down over here then, as well as this probe, and that will actually supply block Blysk momentarily here. Another panel on the way up though, so it's not going to stop him for too long, as we just have a handful of roaches moving around the map looking to see if they can achieve anything here or there. Still just these 3 bases for Blysk, who has got that storm on the way now as well, going into Blink, and another Archon being added on. So again, a different composition from what we usually see here from Blysk, and we're waiting to see what the next step of this build will be. We have a few of these roaches burrowing up to this top left. We did see that burrow upgrade researched earlier on here, and burrow could have been something he could have, well, I say he could have maybe used, but do you really want to unburrow on top of Zealots? Probably not, so it's something we probably haven't seen used for good reason, and I like this by Miniraser. He's actually just going to wait here until it's time for him, this Nexus to finish, then he can pop up and kill it instead of allowing Blysk to get the cancel. So it's kind of a little bit risky. Okay, no, he's not. He's just not noticed that his roach is already there. So now he pops up. He's going to force a cancel on this 4th base. A few roaches head towards the 3rd, and the Oracle's going to act as detection here to help detect the burrowed roaches. This 4th base will go down though, and this probe is not going to die because these roaches are busy targeting down the Nexus, and this will go down, but it's going to have to cancel this here. Stalker's not quite there in time. Probe will fall as well, and now he burrows, but there's Oracle nearby. Means that these roaches will get fired upon as they try to leave. A queen getting picked off here, and a couple of creep tumors hallucinating some colossi. There's a big roach hider force. There is some vipers here, and he has to be very careful of the potential feedbacks. But a couple of blinding clouds on the Archons or so could definitely help out a lot, as Miniraser are just going to get ready to deal with this. As again, Blysk is moving up towards this 4th base. The Zealots use a lot of their charge cooldown though, moving up here, and this is actually a really bad position for Blysk to fight in because his Zealots are all on the wrong side of the army. Miniraser just doesn't feel he can fight it though, and he goes across the map. He's going to try and base trade now. There is a mothership core, so you can just recall out of here, and again, the 4th base for Miniraser has gone down. He sends a few roaches in towards the natural. He's going to send a couple of units over somewhere, maybe towards the 3rd. The recall comes in towards the natural, though Miniraser are not able to really achieve anything here. The Overlord farm is heading across the map. I don't know, man. The 17-minute Overlord rush, why not? Okay, well, this is interesting because I really feel as though Miniraser hasn't been able to at least take an engagement with this army. I mean, especially then when all the Zealots are kind of stuck behind this base. If he comes in from behind, he can get a really good engagement on the tech units, which which are relying on the Zealots in front to kind of tank for them. The roaches and Hydras going to make their way through this rock here, and we actually see a lot of Mutalisks on the way up in production. So a tech switch coming in now from our Zerg player, who still doesn't have this 4th base set up. Mutas are actually heading over towards this right hand side. He's going to see his army coming in, a couple of queens setting up the creep over to that side. Will get taken down. How much anti-air is there? Well, there's storms and there's Archons and a couple of void rays. If you can get rid of the Archons here, you might be okay. He takes down a couple of units to his left-hand side and moving up to this up in this direction, looking to see what he can do. A few Zealots and a single Archon though, moving forwards, and that side is probably going to achieve quite a bit. In fact, as the Mutas starting to head towards the main. So how much damage are these Mutas going to get done as Stalkers start to warp in, but the Mutas are going to latch onto them very, very quickly here. Blinding clouds to take away some of this cannon fire as the Roach Hydra army is going to start working their way against the 4th base of the Zerg. This Archon has not been dealt with, and neither have these Zealots, and 12 workers, 13 workers have gone down for the Zerg player, who's still struggling here to kind of do something with his Mutalisk. His Roach Hydra force is going to get caught. He's going to be able to take down this 4th base. But Blysk, I mean, he's got so much still, though. If he gets into like a little choke point here or something, he can maybe turn around and fight these Zealots and just trade as best he can. It's not going to be the best of trades, though, as these Mutas are slowly working their way against this Stargate, trying to shut down any possible Phoenix production. And there's a couple of probes starting to go down here as well. He's actually just going to turn and go for probes instead. He's killed off 11 workers so far. He's got so many minerals in the bank, but because he's been limited to only 3 bases for pretty much the entire game, he hasn't been able to take the extra gases which he needs. And so Miniraser doesn't have enough gas to really rebuild anything right now. As Blysk going to head over towards this base now, and well, as this Archon goes down, the Mutas will clean up the rest here. But this is not a good position for our Zerg player. Miniraser in a lot of trouble right now. He only really has these Mutas to rely on, but I mean, he can't really base trade. There's way too many cannons, I think, set up all over the place. There's enough Stalkers. It's not like we've got an extreme mass of Mutalisks. And we've got Phoenix on the way as well, and this army has enough anti-air in it to realistically move across the map and trade with the Mutas should it need to. And sitting at 50 supply deficit right now, Miniraser moving around the map, just looking to try and achieve whatever he can. He's going to try and take down a couple of Stalkers here, and he will catch those off guard as an Immortal also going to get caught by these Zerglings as they move towards the natural. The Muta's going to head towards the 3rd base. Well, there's not really that much anti-air, just a couple of cannons. And Blysk sending a lot of his army across the map, getting ready for this base trade. Some more Mutas being cranked out here by Miniraser as fast as he can, and we are just going to head into this base trade, but I just don't know if Miniraser really has the DPS to kind of do this fast enough. His meter count is rising here. The longer he mines just a little bit of gas from anywhere, is the better it gets for him as these drones get sabotaged by these Archons. A pylon coming up over here, and well, these drones, where are they off to? Okay, he's not going to go over there. He really needs to try and find a way to get as much gas as he can so he can make as many meters as possible. But there's some Archons, there's some Stalkers here, and that makes it very hard to really do anything with. And he's going to turn around, fight some Zealots on this base down to the bottom right, and he's going to lose his base to the left hand side as well. He still has a lot of minerals available, but again, he just doesn't really have an army to fight with. The Mutas can deal with a lot of these Zealots though, but once the Archons and Templar, etc. come nearby, it becomes so difficult and almost impossible for him to, well, it is pretty much impossible for him to actually fight this army. He's going to lose his entire main base now. He's going to lose all of his workers in here. Miniraser looks to be in a lot of trouble now as these Zealots get chased by the Mutasks, and they're going to go down one by one. Okay, this one Zealot's going to get away, head towards the bottom right hand corner, but Miniraser is attempting to take a gold base right now, but again, what really went wrong in this game, I just feel Miniraser, you know, maybe he probably does know better than me, but it felt as though he had some opportunities to engage this army, and he never did, and he just consistently tried to counterattack instead. He let his opponent take down the 4th base for no real reason. He didn't contest it, and not for no real reason. Obviously he thought that he couldn't fight the army, but he had no, he didn't get anything in return for his opponent killing off the 4th base. He wasn't across the map doing damage himself. He wasn't, he wasn't trading army at all. He wasn't, doing anything. So the Protoss player is really just able to run away with this a little bit. A couple of storms starting to come down. This next Archon is going to be enough alongside the Stalkers to help clean this up, and GG is called.